do a sound check, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Who can hear me? Let me know. Can anybody hear me? Sergeant Friday. Amy Conway. Can you guys hear me? One made a nut. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. We are good. All right. So let's see. I'm going to give maybe a minute or two more to see, give other people a chance to join us. All right. Hello, L Wing W, Sergeant Friday, Sasha, Brenda. I am having a great day. Sasha, thank you very much. All right, Brenda, Alicia, Mary Lee, Richardson, Gable. I'm not sure about the last part of your name. I do it every time, don't I? All right. All right. All right. Let me get my little notes here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started so that we can make it through all of the discussions. Because I think I have a cutoff tonight of about 10:15. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. And hopefully you guys are up to um, typing on your phone or your laptop. Maybe you got something nice to drink and a snack or something. Got your feet up. Little jazz music playing. But let's think about the first point that I wanted to make. And that is, okay, can you see the picture really good on your device? That's all right, Alicia. No, that's no problem. The more the more the merrier. The more the merrier. All right. Okay, so if you look at the picture that I uploaded, you can see a side view of 1122 King Road. And as you can see, there is a police officer on the back porch. That will be the kitchen. All right. Hello, Tanita. So you guys just imagine for a minute that you are the killer. Okay? You're standing where this man is standing on the kitchen patio, the patio to the kitchen door. Okay? You are contemplating how you're going to commit your crime because you're going in there for at least one person, I guess. You know that there's a dog probably on the third floor. Okay, what else do you know just from standing where this man is standing? I mean, what do we know? What if you were the culprit? Would you enter through the front or the back? Huh? Would you enter through the front or the back? If you were standing on this kitchen patio on the outdoors and you were planning to commit a murder in this house of one or all of these people, would you go through the front door or the back where this man is standing? Anybody? Anybody feel like typing in the chat tonight or no? All right, I'm gonna give out a brain to whoever is participating in the chat tonight. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. All right. Would you go through the front or the back? That was the first question. All right. One made nut said the front. Sergeant Friday the back, Tanita the back, Scott, Elwing, David. There is no video footage of any perpetrator at all, which is a mystery. All right. Shout out to David Stamler. Okay, I owe a lot of brains here. Just hold on a minute. Okay. Now, let me give these out. And then, hold on, I forgot. All right, who else? Sergeant Friday. Shout out to Sergeant Friday. And also there was someone else, Elwing. Elwing W. All right. Hey, Audrey Case. All right, the party started because you just stepped in the door. All right, all right. Shout out to Audrey Cakes, our gaming champion from Saturday night. Our pretty much only champion. we barely had enough people to play, but we went ahead and we had enough people to make a podium. All right, and Audrey played both games. All right, so shout out to Audrey Cakes. Now let's go back to the picture. We got the majority. Oh, Brenda said the back. All right. I think the majority are saying the back. All right. Now, here's the second part of that. Where would you let somebody drop you off? Or would you drive your own car? All right, let me find the car I had. I got a little too much going on up here on this desk. Let me find my okay, here it is. Okay, the majority said the back, so take note of that. Now, let's talk about how you're going to get there and how you're going to leave. All right? You're still standing on the porch trying to come up with your game plan. Now, most people said they will come in the back door. What about how you going to get there and back? Okay? Let's put in the chat, is it drop off? Would somebody drop you off, or would you drive? Where would you park? All right. Sergeant Friday said, I would drive myself. I ain't killing anyone with any witnesses. If I come for you, it's going to be secretly. All right. Shout out to Sergeant Friday. That's right. The more people involved, the more people that can snitch. I mean, I'm just saying, the more people that know about it, the more chances somebody else is going to find out, right? That's a very good point. All right. Let me give Sergeant Friday his shout out. All right. And who we got? David Stamler. Park in the back because it was dark, cut through the woods. Yes, the layout of this house makes it very, very easy to come through those trees, like he said, and just come, if assuming you can get in the sliding glass door, okay, assuming it's open, okay, you might have to come around to the front if you can't get in the sliding glass door. All right. And so that was David. Let me give a shout out to David for his post. The back is like the perfect place, especially from the aerial photos we've seen from the military and the FBI. We've seen those, and I mean, you can see straight through that house from the back, or from like an angle from the back. You know? All right. Tanita said park in the back. We got everybody saying, okay, not parking anywhere. House in view of. Chris LaFay, did your comment get cut off? Shout out to Chris LaFay. Where's the rest of your post? No parking anywhere. Houses in view of what? Shout out to Chris LaFay. All right. So the majority agree on park coming through the back, and I guess if you're going to drive, park in the back. I guess on Queen Road. I mean, park on Queen Road back there in the back, and then cut through the trees is what people are saying. All right, I would drive and park in the back and cut through the woods. That way, when I exit, I can go back to the woods and get my car and leave. Right. That's David. I think that's how we really all envision it. If they drove themselves. Okay, what if it's more than one of you? What if you have co-conspirators? Okay, that somebody's gonna drop some of you off and leave. But I think we should stay on the one person for right now. All right. I would drive and park in the back and okay, that was David. Amy Conway, great point. Alicia Mary, drive my own car, parked at a distance down the street someplace. Walk in and out of the back through the woods behind. Do it alone, because you can't trust anyone. That's the second person said that. All right, shout out to Alicia Mary. That's the second person that said the exact same thing. I would do it alone, and I would just, come through the backwoods. All right, I'm asking you these questions for a reason. All right, so I'm going to ask you one more. We have our consensus on using the back door and coming through the woods. Now let's back up here. Sergeant Friday, I would not use a DoorDash driver to drop me off and some drug user to pick me up, like happened here. Okay, shout out to Sergeant Friday. Okay, that's a very good point. I mean, we know that this is drug activity going on at 3 o'clock, 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, the kids left the grub truck. Everybody was at the grub truck at around 1:30, 1:45. That was some kids were getting questioned in the field. So this city was wide open between 1 o'clock and I say probably about 3:30 that we know of just from watching the body cams. All right, so he made a very good point of if it's more than one person, and they have the getaway driver, like I suggested in my video, White Elantra. Guess who? Who are you gonna trust to pick you up? You know, would you trust a Brian Kohberger or a DoorDash driver to pick you up or drop you out, really, if you know that's what you're going to do? And if this was involving the frat kids or even the drug dealer kids in the neighborhood or whatever, right there locally, if that was the case, and I'm just saying, if that was the case, the driver and whoever went in the house to commit the crimes, the murders, they all would have been part of the same clique. They wouldn't have had somebody on the outside, a user or whoever. Everybody involved in the plan would have been part of a clique. If the frat boys did it, everybody was frat boys. Okay? If the drug guys did it, everybody in the crew was part of that gang or that drug cartel. It's we can't say that the street did it or this person did it or these people did it, but maybe Brian delivered the food or maybe Brian was a DoorDash driver. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Because who can you trust? Who can you trust? You're going to kill at least one person. Who are you going to trust to be involved in something like that? And who's going to call a DoorDasher to the house, okay, to attract more people to the house? I'm saying, unless it was a part of the plan for them just not to know who did it. Okay? To just have so many people coming to the house, you really don't know who did it. Was it food, drugs, stalking? We don't know. All we know is whoever did it, when they got there, that dog was on the second floor. Murphy. We know that at least because the dog is supposedly on Officer Nunez's body cam. So at least maybe we can depend on the fact that Murphy was in the room at some point before the detectives arrived. But we really don't know where Murphy was during the crime. We don't know if Murphy was even home. We don't even know if Mercy, calling the dog Mercy. Okay, that's what they should name him. Listen, well, we don't know where Murphy was. All right? We don't know. No security at all. Amy Conway. One made nut. If this is a setup from the jump, it doesn't matter that they drove their own car. They parking back or maybe on Taylor and walk up the steps. Shout out to one made nut. That's true. But it does matter to a certain extent because you never know who's gonna start blabbing. And then once somebody in the group starts acting up, now who knows what and whose car was used. Now that's a problem. It's not a problem as long as they're collaborating together and nobody's getting anxious saying, hey, I thought you said this was an open and shut case. Hey, I thought you said I wouldn't have to testify. Hey, I thought you said they had a DNA. Hey, I thought you said the FBI was going to come in and do this or do that. All of that's going on right now. And the people who are involved, whether they know who really did it or not, whether they were just a part of framing somebody, or whether they know everything, they know who did it, and they still have to frame somebody. They talking to each other, arguing right now, because it's not going the way that they planned. I'm going to tell you who else they had to convince that this was going to be an open and shut case. And nobody was going to have to worry about a thing because it wasn't going to court, slam dunk case, blah, blah, blah. You know who else they had to convince of that? Idaho. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute, but I need to add something to this picture. Okay, now we have all right, now we have Bethany and Dylan in the mix. And I put both of them on the second floor because it's a possibility that Bethany was right up there with Dylan. We don't know that Bethany was in her room on the first floor. We don't know that. We're assuming that. We're speculating that. Just like we speculated that her and Dylan both had rooms on the first floor. Then we found out that Dylan it does not live on the first floor. And now we're still speculating that Bethany was in her room. Okay, Bethany could have been right up on the second floor with all the action, right along with everybody else. Was back door unlocked to Nita 75? Does anybody know? I heard some people saying that there was a stool behind the door, the kitchen door, because it didn't have a lock. Or I don't know. I've heard some rumors about, and you can see the stool in this picture. You can see the stool laying on its side in the kitchen, like keeping the sliding door, or supposedly where you keep the sliding door shut. Does anybody know if the back door was, if they're saying the back door was kept unlocked? L-Wing W, they didn't lock their doors. Amy D, be in the closet already in the house, hide vehicle. Right. Okay. You know, a lot of people are saying that the killers were already in the house. Okay. And that they were in the house before 4 o'clock. Before the car started, I believe the earliest that the white car on the sightings was 3 o'clock. It wasn't 3:29. It was like 3:15. Okay, so this stuff could have happened right after Kaylee and Maddie stopped calling Jack D. I mean, it really could. It could have just jumped out right around there. All right? In view of the car or any cameras, Chris LaFay. Elwing, back of the house, visible to neighbors. Shout out to American Princess. Hey, American. Good to see you. All right, so if you park in the back, David Stamler, if you park in the back, it was so dark you couldn't see anything back there. That's why it would have been the perfect exit, but definitely not be the front. You are a sitting duck. You're a sitting duck. And that's true. Because in the PCA, they kept saying that the car was pulling in front of the residence. Okay? I don't believe they have any body cam or ring evidence to show where exactly on Queen Road this car was stopping. Okay? I don't believe they have evidence of that. Only thing they can show is how it turned off King Road onto Queen Road. There's a camera there off Linda Lane. I've seen the view. So have you. But as far as where the car was on Queen Road once it came around, I mean, it could have went to the apartments, dealing drugs, could have been dealing to any house in that area. All right, but I guess stay on topic. All right, and so we most likely we're saying the back, but the PCA says that the car was driven in front of the house several times. Every account says it pulled in front of the residence. Sergeant Friday, you could have also parked across the street at the huge complex there. Walk up side driveway, out to sliding back door. Kill, go out front, cross to Taylor Street apartments that are 50 feet away. That's true. Or you could just go in one of those apartments if you know somebody over there. If you know somebody over there, just go over there in those apartments. If you live in those apartments, you can just, if you know somebody over there that lives in apartments, you could just go over to the apartments. All right, that was Sergeant Friday. David Stamler, I wouldn't rely on something like that because there's no guarantee they're going to pick you up in that nick of time to get you out, in the nick of time to get you out of there without being seen. That's true. But if it's a crew, you will rely on. This is why I'm saying it was a crew. Okay, this is why I'm saying it was a crew. Let me change this right quick. and show you what I mean. This is why I'm saying that. Hold on, let me get the picture up. This is why. Okay, that's a good point you made. Now put a pin in that right now. Put a pin in that. Now, what do you think about this? All right. Remember in my video, the white Elantra, guess who? Oh, it didn't go. Let me put it back in there. All right. Now, he said you have to trust the person to pick you up. That's true. All right. So what about this here? Hold on. All right. This is your crew. Okay. These are your buddies at the frat house, or these are fellow gang members, or you know, these are a group of people sent by somebody to do it, contracted out. Okay. You would have in this case, you would have a getaway driver, right? You would, because y'all are all a part of a crew. You trust each other. You better, Well, if you contract it out, you might not even know each other. But the plan is to have the person that contracted you could have told you how it was gonna go down, right? Okay, I wouldn't rely. That was David. Okay, what makes me really concerned is the lack of recorded noise, because there's a bunch of it, yet none of it records 4 murders. That means the killer or killers have extreme skill. All right, shout out to Sergeant Friday, because these are all excellent points. And don't forget the dog, the quiet dog, okay? Because the dog had to be in there, according to their story, all that time without using the bathroom, without being able to get water or food. Okay? The dog had to endure all of that time and not bark and wake any of them up. So how does that go? How does Murphy stay in there without water and without going to the restroom? All right. Somebody put Murphy in the other bedroom, so they knew the dog, David Stamler. Okay. Is it possible the police put the dog in the bedroom? Is it possible that the teenagers living there, no, not the teenagers, the students living there, and the students that they called? Okay, because I'm hearing that they called around to all their friends, and everybody in the frat houses and the sorority knew about it, and some of them were coming and arriving at the scene before they even called 911. All right, Susan Bonner. I think that the surviving girls in that house have all the answers to what went down, told, so they hold the truth we see. Agreed. Shout out to Susan Bonner, because there's no way, and really, the guys are saying the same thing tonight, that there's no way all this stuff went down, and there's nothing on, no noise in the neighborhood enough to substantiate it, and the roommates are not claiming the extreme noise. They're not. They're playing around. It's the truth though. It's the truth. It's the truth. They know. It might even be they weren't even there. Okay? And then they came in, and all of a sudden it was time to conspire. You know? That's a great one. All right? Snitches get stitches. Very true. That's right. That's right, David. And right now, a lot of people are getting ready to snitch on the prosecution side, because they promised them an easy slam dunk case. They promised them that nobody was gonna be held responsible for any wrongdoing in the department. And guess what? They said that it would be over quick Okay, but look at, a lot of things have happened since then to have these people fighting that's involved with this. They're fighting amongst each other right now because number one, this should have been a slam dunk. Number two, what is this 6 month delay all about? What are we gonna do for 6 months? All the stuff that we have hidden from the public, after a while it's gonna start popping out. And that's exactly what happened. And now the state of Idaho is paying for all of this. All right? Let's stop right here. I want to put something else up in that regard. That's a good point. All right? Check this out. Let me put this in there. All right? You should be able to see the picture in just a minute. K-bar knife will only work on one person before becoming dull. It's not made for all that. I think that's why more than one weapon. Whoever was upstairs got Maddie first. And that's Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie Elizar Anderson. Shout out to Stephanie. Good to see you. Elwin, Kim reported the kids never locked their doors. It was a thing. Well, Elwin, Xana's father came all the way from another state to change the locks on his daughter's door. So, and having the mom that's involved with the drug scene, I would say Xana did lock her door. Okay, just because of her mother's shenanigans and the fact that her dad came and changed her locks. Okay, so locks were a thing for Xana because her dad came all the way from where? Arizona? All right, shout out to Elwin. Okay, locks were a thing for Xana's family. And I don't blame them. Okay, because Cara stayed busy. So, I mean, locks was a thing. That's how you know these people that's calling in saying this stuff. You can't trust somebody that's snitch. I don't. That's just me. And so, how can you say that locks weren't a thing when this man traveled from? Let me pull it up. Oh my God, I gotta skip my point that I was getting ready to make and come all the way over here. All right. Well, I'm not gonna go digging in my videos. I'm gonna just put a screenshot up here for that one, and let's see who that was. Elwing, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you right here. Okay. I mean, God bless these people that's calling in, giving information. Maybe they think that they are helping. Okay, but if I don't get a good vibe from it, I don't participate. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking anybody else. Okay? Everybody has a right to their own perspective. Okay? But I'm skeptical of sources unless you can show me proof. Okay? And then once you say one or two things that don't add up, I'm out of there. That's just me. Once I hear you say, okay, I'll give you a grace period of one slip up, but once you said two things that don't add up in the same conversation, I'm out. That's just me. I don't have time for it. I would like to know the truth of the case. We're all trying to figure it out together, right? But we have to use our common sense. All right? And we have to go with the evidence. We have to go with the evidence that we can prove. Okay, that actually did happen. Okay, here's the picture right here. It's going to take a minute. I'm going to show you this right quick, and then I'm going back to my next point about Brian Kohberger. But let's stop right here because of Elwing's comment. Now, I'm going to go back and read what he said if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Okay, Elwin W. said Kim reported the kids never locked their doors. It was a thing. All right, now look on this screen. Remember these publications? This article, father of Idaho murder victim was asked to fix lock at home a week before the killings. Okay, that kills that right there. That just kills that, and just pretty much, I mean, it's a lie. Because guess what? If the father came all the way from Arizona to change Xana's locks, then locks were a thing. And we're sitting here looking at the stool turned over on its side in the kitchen door. So evidently they were using that to keep the back door locked. So that's not true. And so once I heard one or two things that don't add up, that's it for me. That's just the type of person I am. And so God bless them for these call-ins, but you can call in and I'll listen if you have some proof. Okay, but just to say I knew this person or that person, I mean, everybody does that. I mean, everybody does that, you know? Even inmates use that to fit in once they get locked up. That's some jailhouse stuff right there. That's what that is. So jailhouse gibberish, basically, to say that locks weren't a thing, and we sitting here reading the news how this man went and put the locks on his daughter's door. Come on now. Now let's see. On the screen, you should be able to see Brian Kohberger, and this is when he was about to fly back to Moscow. Now, it costs, I'm gonna put this in the chat. It costs Moscow $14,100 to fly Brian Kohberger from Pennsylvania back to Moscow in custody. Hey, Just Amber. I didn't see you in there. Shout out to Just Amber. I didn't see you sneak in. Okay, good to see you. Now, it costs $14,100 to get Brian Kohberger back to Moscow on that plane in protective custody. $14,000 for one flight. $14,000 is what I said. That's just to move him. And so guess what? The state of Idaho is going to pay so much more. So that's one reason why they're in a rush. Because guess what? Ann Taylor and the other attorney, they're making $200. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Leslie Vasquez. Hey, Leslie. Shout out to Leslie Vasquez. All right. That's right, Leslie. Okay. Look what they're getting ready to, look what they're paying. This was supposed to be quick, slam dunk, right? This supposed to be, hey, what did Chief Fry say? I have no doubt we have our man. This is him. This is him right here. And we're not looking for anybody else. It's him. That's what Chief Fry said. On the record. Okay? And so now, let me ask y'all something. Wouldn't you want to go to the preliminary hearing instead of the grand jury so you can hear what evidence the defense called themselves presenting? I mean, the preliminary hearing would have gave the prosecution a lot of insight, because right now they have no idea how to, they only have 1% of a glimpse of how the defense planned to bring its case. So it would have been a benefit of the defense to know what evidence and what the defense is trying to claim. But they shut all that down to their own detriment. Because it would have been better for them to sit down in the preliminary hearing and hear what the defense was trying to say. But the state of Idaho, it wants to hurry and move this along. Why? Because they're paying for it. It's not about Maddie and Kaylee and Ethan and Xanon anymore. It's not about them. Okay? It's not about Xanon's mom either. Or the the rest of the victims' families. It's not about any of that anymore. It's about dollars and cents now. And this is already went on for 6 months. And now Brian Kohberger is willing to sit in jail for another 5 months. Okay? But even before that, the grand jury was to speed things along. Okay? It wasn't just to stop the defense from being able to get up and present evidence and start talking about expert testimony and all that stuff. Yeah, that's one good reason. But the main reason why they did the grand jury was to hurry this along because they paying for it. They're paying for it. Oh, Joanne, what's up, Joanne? I find it odd that D was OR when King County picked up the charges. He would have had a hold on him unless it wasn't in the computer to hold him for transport to King County. All right, Joanne, I'm not sure I understand what's going on with your comment. I'm not sure what you is it me or I'm not getting what you're saying. Just Amber said, I think the killer put Murphy in Kaylee's room. You think, I believe there was more than one killer, and they had plenty of time to do just that. If the dog was in there. I mean, I have to say that part. Emma's charge dropped. Leslie Vasquez. No chains no more. Hey, no chains. Murphy was probably with Jack. So many liars in this case. Oh, Murphy with Jack. Oh, that's a thought. How could that have happened? Who said that? No chains no more. Shout out to No Chains No More. Some people did say the dog wasn't there. I mean, it's getting pretty bad with the speculation. Okay, we have to try to stick to what's going to help us solve the case with facts. Okay? Now, here we go. I want to talk about something else right quick. Okay, let me take this down. Because this case is costing the state of Idaho, and then they took a hit from, some of the kids left the university. They had to shut some stuff down for the university. Okay, so guess what? This is costing Idaho. You know what happens whenever something's costing. All right? If they can't nip it in the bud one way, they'll nip it in the bud another. No, this is the wrong picture. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, this is it. We need to talk about this one too. We sure do. Now, I know it didn't just happen yesterday, but the Idaho murders updates Brian Kohberger's parents secretly testify over death of Pennsylvania woman. Okay, I think this was all for show, for camera. I personally do. Because even if he did it, you think his parents gonna come in there and tell you? And why are they digging up all these dead people and saying that Brian Kohberger killed him? Let me put that in the chat. It's just getting ridiculous. Digging up all of these dead people, accusing Brian of killing him. Now, who heard of that? I mean, they're going to dig up every dead person. All this time, Smithers was missing. As soon as they decided they wanted to pin it on Brian, all of a sudden they found Dana Smithers. What kind of mess is that? Please tell me. Okay, D was released on his own recognizance. Okay, all right, all right. I figured that's what it was. All right, all right. He was released on his own recognizance. Okay, all right. It's not a delay. It's the time the government has to provide a speedy trial that BK demanded. Okay, that's Sergeant Friday. Okay, they chose the time just outside speedy trial. Um, that's kind of controversial what you're saying, Sergeant Friday, because the defense asked for 6 months to prepare. And then when it was almost a month out for the preliminary trial, all of a sudden the grand jury is out here, you know, shutting it down early. You know, like they're in a rush because Brian asked for the 6 months. And so, I mean, the government, they're the ones bringing the charges. So, hey, I kind of do see what you're saying, though. I kind of do see what you're saying. But at any rate, I would say that Idaho is getting ready to be out of a lot of money if they don't come up with a way to tie this up real soon. Real soon. Because when you get to the point where, and here's my question, why are all of these states, what is it about the Kohbergers? Why are all of these states so willing to jump in and help, crucify this family? Okay? We got Idaho, we got Washington, we got Indiana, we got Pennsylvania, we got all these states in cahoots, if you ask me. All of them in cahoots. I mean, why are all these people all these states in cahoots against the Kohbergers? Why? Because really, to bring the parents in, that was just disrespectful. Your son is up for quadruple murder in Moscow, and you bringing the parents in their home state for another death. You haven't even proved he killed these four. And even if he did have something to do with Dana Smith, what you bringing the parents in for? You could bring judgment on yourself by some of the stuff you do. Because sometimes some of the moves people make, you could tell they don't believe in God. Because if they believe 25% of the reap what you sow principle and that thing and karma, they wouldn't do some of the things they do. Because there's nowhere in the world Brian's parents knew anything if he did. And even if they did, you think they're going to tell anybody? This was just a PR move at the expense of this man's parents, trying to break him mentally. He said, it's a not guilty plea entered. And let me tell y'all something. I have not been able to 100% rule Brian Kohberger out of this tragedy of these kids. Okay? I've been talking about them so much. I love them like they were my own kids. I've been talking about this case and investigating this case, and I don't see Brian Kohberger as being attached to the house or to the evidence. But at the same time, I can't just 100% rule him out without an alibi, or another person definitely did it, or other people. So even though their case is erect, and one of the subscribers made this point earlier, once they made up their mind they're going to get you, they're not going to stop until either they do get you or the stuff hits the fan for everybody involved with trying to get you. Okay? It's just a fact. Okay? And so what the parents got to do with it? I'm thinking, the level of disrespect is just through the roof. Okay, there's no grace on the part of Moscow and a lot of these states that's getting involved with this. Maybe they're getting revenue from the publicity. I don't know. Because we got a lot of states jumping in together to terrorize the Kohberger family. Okay? Brian, they said, well, you're going to do these 5 months. We're going to harass your family over here while you do these 5 months. Okay? I don't understand why any of this is a problem for Moscow if they say they got the right man. All right? Amy Conway said, no way Emma's charges dropped just like Maddie's stepmom's charges dropped November the 7th. Oh, that's interesting about both of them. All right. And, I believe that this guy, Demetrius, probably was dealing drugs in the neighborhood. It's very possible that he was in the house and somebody dropped him and others off at the house. Or it's possible he was the driver. Okay? And he dropped some people off. Or it's possible that he was dealing drugs and had nothing to do with the scene. Because look how much was going on that night. Look how much was going on. Look how much was going on. We had these guys drinking in the field. Okay, we had traffic passing by on Taylor Avenue. We could see the traffic. We had people running in the camera in the background. We had 3 or 4 guys running in the silhouette in the background. It was so much going on at 3 o'clock in the morning in Moscow. It's a shame. All right, so DoorDash and drug dealing and all of that right there, maybe that was going on. I don't know if it was going on from Pullman, but I know the white car that you could see turning in, most likely that was the car. I'm not sure. It was Truth and Transparency that found the white car. The reason I believe that car was the one on the body cams is because it doesn't have a fog light in the front. Every other car that they claim was Brian Kohberger's car, the car that was involved, the windows were tinted and the car didn't have fog lights at the bottom in the front. And that car is the only one I've seen that matches the body cam that I've seen. Okay, that's just my opinion. Okay, so I believe that the car was very much in the neighborhood dealing drugs, or the car was in the neighborhood dealing drugs and dropping people off. It could have all been going on at the same time. Okay, I believe it. But the problem is, where did they get Brian Kohberger's name from? Somebody put November the 7th or something. I think you meant December the 7th. Or is this somebody's arrest or release? Was that November the 7th or December the 7th? D was released on his own recognizance, and Just Amber said they flipped on someone maybe. Joanne, King County picked up D charges, don't make sense. He would be held till King County came to pick him up. Joanne, something is up with Emma and Demetrius, maybe informants. There you go. Shout out to No Change No More. I'm going to have to give you a brain. No Change No More. Got the first brain for in this conversation as far as just the commentary now. I'm not saying it's the only good comment. Please don't say I said that, because I didn't. I'm saying I'm giving out a brain because now we're on the same page. Because that's all that's running around right now in this environment anyway is rats. Nothing but rats. It's nothing but rats running around on YouTube and in Moscow and Pennsylvania right now. Because anybody with some substance and some values and some morals and some discretion, They're not going to throw themselves in the middle of a quadruple murder, especially before the trial, and they still don't have somebody that's been convicted. Understand they got somebody in custody, but that could change tomorrow. It's nothing running around here but rats. I tried to say it in a nice way, okay? But here we have an icebreaker right here where we can just really just start right there. We can start right there on this topic, okay? Informants. And who said Just Amber, they flipped on somebody? Okay, Just Amber, I owe you a brain too. I owe you one too. Because, hey, it's just a fact. Nothing but rats around here right now. And so, who in their right mind, okay, is going to involve themselves in something like this without some type of money incentive or whatever? I'm just saying. All right, Justice. What's going on, Justice? Shout out to Justice. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now you get into it. Rats, it's snitching. That's a common, nice word. All right? Geo snap photo of a female in a ski mask at around 3 to 4 a.m. in my opinion is Dylan Mortensen due to specific smile that makes tooth show slightly. And that's Chris LaFay. Shout out to Chris. That's true. Yeah, we got plenty of females. Okay, before you even bring Emma in, we got 2 females that's lying to us already. So let's bring Emma in and add her to the equation of Dylan and Bethany, because both of them are lying. So it's all in the family. It's all in the family. 6 people in the house. David Stamler. 6 people in the house. 4 people get brutally murdered, and the other 2 have not a scratch on them and not even touched when things like this happen. It's usually from the inside. Okay, let's give David a brain. I'm just saying. Let's just be honest. We have to be honest like this. We have to be honest. Okay? It was no forced entry. It was no forced entry. That's another reason why I don't believe the street had something to do with it. It was these kids that lived there, the survivors, because people on the street don't leave witnesses. Drug dealers and gang members don't leave witnesses. I don't care who you're related to. They don't leave witnesses. There would have been some forced entry. They love that part. All right, let me put that in the chat. Now, you heard it first here on The Hard Truth. I'm giving y'all a fact right here. I'm giving you this one for free. I forgot to put my donation message up. I set a reminder. Listen, I'm giving you this one for free. All right? The drug dealers and the gangbangers love forced entry. They love it. This was the frats sorority, Dylan and BF. This is where we're going to find our killer. This is where we're going to find the killer. Now, we got a lot of people that know about it. And they're ratting and singing like mice. But the actual murders, we're going to find that among Idaho University students and Moscow locals. That's where we're going to find the killer. Everybody else is just witnesses, snitches, people that know what was going on. I'm just saying. That's where we're going to find them. All right, let me change my picture. I have one more point. Because this is just getting ridiculous, really. Let me take that off. All right. Give me a minute to change my picture. I want to ask y'all about this one here. See what you say. All right? Okay, the picture should be loading here in just a minute. And I want to ask your opinion. Now that the proceedings have moved along a little bit, and some of these comments are really good. I just can't. Okay, Kapaka, Chris LaFay. I heard that too. Someone's getting paid on this. Someone's hands are getting real greasy, and this whole stocking thing. You wouldn't leave Pennsylvania to Washington for shopping. Okay, David, can you expound on that? Someone's getting paid. I understand all that, but when you say this whole stocking thing, you wouldn't leave Pennsylvania to Washington for shopping. I'm not sure about that part. Amy D, if they were killed, OD, then stabbed, there's not a lot of blood. Heart stops, blood doesn't spurt out. Amy D, listen to me. Anytime you see blood oozing down the outside of a structure where there was that much blood in the room, and I've seen blood on kitchen cabinet pictures too. There was blood all over that house. There was blood all over the house. For it to be oozing down the wall, the outside wall of the structure, the outside, that was a lot of blood. And then I've seen pictures. I think I got one. I don't know if I can. It might take me a minute to bring that up. Let me put this one up first. All right, we're gonna talk about that blood some more this week. This week coming up. We're gonna talk about Amy D. We're gonna talk about that blood a little bit more this week, because we haven't gotten to a real good discussion about it. All right, but check this out. All right, you know who this is, right? All right, you know who this is. Oh, what's up, Renee Phillips? Shout out to Renee. All right, Renee, let me. Okay, let me put that in there. Good. Okay, let me give Renee her shout out. I didn't mean to misspell your name. Let me correct it. Let's try it again. Okay. All right, so whoever is sixth roommate was old, was OD, was DD, was DoorDash, Justice. Help us understand. All right, this is Judge John Judge. What do you think about this guy? The impression that I got of him was that he knows his stuff, first of all. Okay, well, whoever is sixth roommate, BK went to. Okay, I don't believe that justice. I don't believe anything pertaining to uh what was has been reported there. I just don't. Okay, if you can prove it, fine. If you can prove it, fine. If there's some evidence, fine. But there's not. Okay, and like I said, once I find one or two lies from the same person, I'm out of there. So I can't really support that claim. No change no more. Ashlyn Couch moved to Washington State. Renee Phillips, hey hard truth in the house. David Loach and David Baricho, God sees all. 100. Okay, Justice. Shout out to Justice. Shout out to Justice. Some good posts going on here. Justice still have faith in the that WSU reporting, and it's a free country. If you advocating for that, more power to you. But I just don't. I can't see it. I can't see it coming that way. Okay, well, all the information is being spread about this case, and with a gag order, if there's really truly some information there of some substance or that can help the case, I believe she would have been subpoenaed and gagged a long time ago. The neither side, the prosecution or the defense, don't seem threatened by her talking. So that just tells it all for me right there. They don't mind at all that she's calling all over. They don't mind what she's saying. So if it's not upsetting the prosecution or defense, it's probably not something I need to know about. Okay. All right. I have her background. Kopaka or Kohberger. Kopaka pulled the tower, dumps 100, 5:34 a.m. He leaked phone call. Okay, what phone call though? What phone call though? Justice. American Princess. I thought that the sixth roommate is someone else. All right, well, that's right. That's right, David. And they're gonna get stitches because some of this that's it's a bunch of snitches selling their story, but they're selling it cheap because the tabloids is not buying it really. They're selling it on a real low street level. Okay, but it's still snitching. It's still snitching. I don't care how low down the totem pole the person is you told. It's still snitching. All right, just Amber made up a great point. I don't like that the judge mispronounced some of the victims' names. He mispronounced Kaylee's name. He called her Kayla, I think. And one made nut. Judge, I can't quite figure out if he accidentally or purposely mispronounced the names. I don't think it was on purpose. I think he's that far mentally removed from the case at this point that it's just another case that hit his desk. He's not shock and awe like everybody else. Okay, he's just coming in. He's on the clock just like everybody else. Because if he was engrossed in the case and fascinated with the case like everybody else, he wouldn't have mispronounced her name. He hasn't really been following the case like everybody else. All right, David. That's exactly what I said. This all could have been done for me inside. Never underestimate a woman. Women can be very strong in certain situations or in any situation. That's true. That's true. Hey, for all we know, Dylan and Bethany could have done it alone. Someone flew that drone, aka Papa Rogers, Brent Kopaka 100. They killed him. Well, honestly, it all makes sense. Joanne, David, if these people were supposedly sleeping, or at least the two girls were upstairs, they could have been easily ambushed and the rest could have been history as well. I'm just saying. This is true. Shout out to David. David Stamler. Shout out because it's true. It's just true. And so, I mean, this is all stuff that we have to think about, because at the end of the day, I want to know one thing, and this is going to be my last point. You guys, give me a second to change my screen, okay? You're welcome, David. I'm going to change my screen. Give me 1 second. It's going to take a minute because I have to put 2 pictures up. All right, and this is going to be my last point. I said I was going to cut off at 10:15. It might go a little over that, but not too much. Okay, y'all, give me a second to load my pictures, and then I'll look at your comments. And this is somebody that you all haven't mentioned tonight. Okay, usually you mention a little bit of everybody. Tonight you haven't really said too much about this one I'm getting ready to put up. So let's see. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about Judge John Judge this week. And we're going to talk about Brian Kohberger. We need to know where they got this man's name from. And I have one place that it could have come from. Hold on. It should load in. Oh, there it is. I keep putting the same thing. And this was TikTok that said described him this way. This is a TikToker that described it. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to put my question in the chat. All right? All right, like I said before, there's something about the Kohbergers. They are not giving these people a break. They're not giving them a chance to say guilty or innocent. They just going at these people. All of them. What is it about the Kohbergers? Where did they get Brian Kohberger's name from? Where? Now, let me tell you something. The Uber driver, I'm putting in the chat, the Uber driver that took Maddie and Kaylee home, he said, he told the police, he told the newspaper, he reported Brian Kohberger to the police. Now, what do you think about that? Oh, no, he said he did it on December 7th. He said he did it on December the 7th. The Uber driver that took Maddie and Kaylee home. This is my theory. It's right in front of our faces and we don't even say it. But if you think about everything that I said and you put together no forced entry, no blood trail, and not a drop exiting. All right, shout out to David. I agree. It's inside job. I agree that Dylan and Bethany both, either they worked there and they know exactly who did it, or they were there and they helped do it. They were there and they let the killers in. One or the other. One or the other. And so that makes me ask even more. Where did they get Brian Kohberger's name from? because it wasn't in November 25th like they said in the PCA. That's not true. That is not true. Susan Bonner. Shout out to Susan Bonner in the house. Yeah, but that white Elantra has fog lights on it, Susan Bonner. Let me give you your shout out before the argument. I'm gonna give you a heart, and then I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree. Because Susan, listen to me, Susan. The white car, I don't know whether it's Elantra or not, but the white car that's been shown in these photos by the police, the few photos that they've shown, that car has a fog lights. Does not have fog lights at the bottom, and the windows are tinted. So that the car that the police are showing us is not Brian's car. So I'm not going to backtrack on that because we're over 70 videos in, and by now, Miss Potts, what's up, Miss Potts? Shout out to Miss Potts. Shout out to Miss Potts, what's up? Good to see you and Susan. Good to see both of you. True that. Okay, listen. What were we talking about? The Uber driver, one made nut said, I never heard this before about Uber driver saying that on 12/7. Let me find it. I'll give you the receipt because I'm telling you, he said that in multiple interviews that he took the description of the white car and reported several cars over in Pullman, and Brian Kohberger's car was one of them. Let me pull it up right quick. And I need to get refresh my drink here. So give me a minute, and you take a minute to go to the restroom or grab you something to drink, and I'll be right back. Okay, let me find it and post it up here. The Uber driver that took Kaylee and Maddie home from the grub truck said he reported the car along with other cars in Pullman on December the 7th. Now, let me see if I can find it, because I wouldn't be just saying that if I hadn't come across it. Okay, I'm looking for it. I think I found it. The driver said that was where you go to get drugs. Just Amber. That's what I meant. It was not done by one person. There's no way in blank one person did all that. That would be literally impossible. Agreed. Shout out to David. That's just common sense right there. Common sense. Looking at this man standing at the back door. How could that man go in there, have his way with the whole house from the top floor all the way out the front door, leave two people alive, don't show any blood in a matter of just minutes, less than 10 minutes? That's just ridiculous, really. The one that does not know how to pronounce the victim's name properly, which was degrading and insulting to the families. It was I don't think he did it on purpose. I think he just removed from the case mentally. He's not mentally and emotionally invested in the case yet. That's what I believe. Okay? Let me find the okay, here it is. Here it is right here on Law and Crime. I told you, I told you. Now, I should have had it where I could share my screen, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to give it to you in this is Law and Crime too, in case you can't see it when I put it up. This is proof of what I was saying. And let's see what the date on this article is. All right. Here's the first part of it. Take this down. All right. Where's the picture? This must be it. All right. Where's the top part of it? Oh, here it is. Now you should be able to see this on the screen. Let me stretch it open a little bit. All right. This was dated January the 6th, 2023. January the 6th, 2023. The title of the article says, "He lived 1,200 feet from my door. Driver who brought Idaho victims home the night they were killed is exceptionally glad about suspect's arrest." Okay? Then in that same article, this is Law and Crime. I'll post the link. All right? It's Law and Crime. It's not something I made up. The private driver who dropped Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Morgan off at their home near the University of Idaho campus just hours before they were stabbed to death in the early morning hours of November 13, 2022 is exceptionally glad an arrest has been made and tells Law and Crime that he actually saw the white Hyundai Elantra police were looking for last month. All right? And then let me see. I think I missed the bottom part of it, where he says he called in the car. He called it in. All right, he didn't want his name used. All right, here it is right here. Same Law and Crime article. I'll put a link to this article if you need it. All right, here's the same Uber driver. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying happened. And he's saying it real slick too. All right? Check this out. Because we got to figure out, how did they get Brian Kohberger involved in this? We have to. All right, this is the same Uber driver talking. He said he was somewhat stunned to learn that Kohberger, who maintains he did not commit the murders, lived near him in Pullman, Washington. "He lived 1,200 feet from my door. I spent 6 weeks trying to convince my wife there was not a threat and I was wrong," the driver said, adding that his wife still fears walking their dog despite Kohberger's arrest. The driver spends much of his days shuttling people around town, so after the killings, he kept an eye out for the white Hyundai Elantra. He eventually spotted it at Kohberger's apartment building sometime after December the 7th. Okay, I don't remember the part where it says sometime after December the 7th, but most likely he reported it on December the 7th because this is when they had that press release. This is when they had that press release. This is when he had that press release. They had the press release on December the 7th. All right? That was a week after paparazzi started talking about a sheath. Remember that? Remember that? Do you remember that? Okay, American Princess, you caught that too. That he said his wife has a dog. His wife has a dog. They have a dog. The Uber driver has a dog. All right, shout out to American Princess. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a brain for that. American Princess, you get a brain for that. Because that's the first thing I said. They have a dog. Okay, dog hairs. The girls have been in his car. The girls have been in his car. Him and his wife have a dog. All right. I thought the same thing. And then he's anonymous. He's anonymous. Okay? Anonymous. What I told you about these snitches. You know, they don't mind calling in, but they don't want you to put them on Front Street. Okay, Joanne said some are saying Eric Grower wife works for Moscow, Idaho Police Department. All right, well, we have to piece these up one at a time. We have to, because this guy said he reported Brian's car, and he spoke to a lot of different media outlets with his story. The Uber driver, he went to a lot of. You're welcome, American Princess. You're welcome, David. You guys are doing great. We got some great ideas going on here tonight. I think we're doing a real good job here of narrowing down some things that just really need to be taken off the table. All right? Because time is winding down, and this man pleaded not guilty. That doesn't mean he didn't have any involvement, but we need to know what it is. Because they're all the way over in Pennsylvania messing with his parents. Now, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Okay? The Uber driver said in a different interview. Okay, let me put that in the chat. The Uber driver interviewed with a lot of different people. The same way this WSU lady is talking to a lot of different people, the Uber driver is doing the same thing. He has interviewed with at least 3 different places. All right, the Uber driver interviewed, and he does not want. He didn't want his name out. Okay, so we know as late as early. Well, we know by December the 7th they had Brian Kohberger on the radar. I'm gonna say December the 7th. It might have been after that. It had to be. It couldn't have been no earlier than about the 13th or the 14th. American Princess, Private Drivers, Daily Mail, News Nation, and Law and Crime, maybe, or did that credit Daily Mail. I know, let me see. I don't know about News Nation. I know it was probably Daily Mail and Law and Crime. I'm not sure about News Nation. But I know he gave, in one interview, the Uber driver said that he reported several vehicles and Brian's car was one of them. That's what he told one media outlet. All right? The Uber driver said he reported multiple vehicles, including Brian's car. That's what he said. He said he reported multiple white vehicles to Moscow police, and one of them was Brian's car. Yep. I'm just saying now. Nah, snitches, let me tell you something. A snitch don't have a reason to snitch. I mean, it's just like they can't hold water. And everybody had a place in the world. Sometimes, stuff can't be solved unless somebody snitched. One made a nut. That's when they said they located his car. But if they located his car November 29th, why did it take them so long to look up his phone number? Okay, if they got his car on the 29th, then they should have known that they had his phone number, and they should have been running his AT&T number. None of that happened. Not even when him and his daddy was in Indiana. That's right, Joanna. That'll be a shame for what they did to the Kohbergers. All right, everybody need to watch my video, the Kohbergers' Descent into Hell. A lot of people told me they didn't like that video, but it's the truth. Let me put the name of my video in here. Yep. That's right. Man, y'all bringing us some good stuff tonight. We got some facts up in here tonight. I'm going to have to go back and try to see what I can do, I'm taking notes, but it's so much information here. Y'all giving so much information. Wow. They knew before they dragged those people in there. It's like children, You pled not guilty and ruined my day, spit in my coffee, and so I'm going to pull your parents in court over there in Pennsylvania in a grand jury. Tit for tat. Very immature. You better start having some restraint, because for all you know, that man could be anointed. He might be the murderer, but he could also be anointed. All right? And you messing with the wrong person. I'm just saying. Don't disrespect. Don't just keep disrespecting the parents because Brian won't offer a plea deal and go along with your mess. Okay? Stop tormenting the parents, because you're going to have to pay them later on. They're going to have to pay the Kohbergers if they cannot convict this guy. And Judge, he seemed like he'll go with whatever's going to benefit him the most. As far as this case, that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. Susan Bonner, BF doesn't want to be in Moscow again, and she fought the subpoena tooth and nail. That's right. Shout out to American Princess. They should have hid her in Europe. She should have went to Africa with Jet Showalter. Because guess what? They didn't hire her far enough. We talked about it in the last live. They didn't hire her far enough. That was ghetto, Nevada, That's as far as y'all went, Nevada. All right, now listen up. I'm going to have to shut our live off a little early tonight. I know we usually go much longer, much further in our discussions, but I have some other things planned that I need to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the chat and the stream open until 10:30 so that you all can say your goodbyes and whatever you need to do to communicate with each other. And then I'm going to end the stream at 10:30. Okay? And I'm going to put my donation stuff in the community stream because I forgot to do it before the program. So I'm gonna go to the community page and repost my donation information. If you have anything to donate, $1 or $2, $5, every donation I receive is awesome. I don't care. I don't know if you can donate change, but I don't care if it's 50 cents. I appreciate it. I'm not too proud to say that. Okay, so I'm gonna repost my donation stuff, and thank you. I also want to remind you to go to my Shekinah Glory channel for your heart truth. Okay, I let one out every day. I'm trying to just put one out every morning, or at least by the afternoon. Okay, so you can get your heart truth scripture every day from Shekinah Glory channel. And then if you like to listen to my memoirs of the Russia-Ukraine war, you can check that out in my World News channel. Okay? Because I still need to load the rest of them over there. There's only one over there right now. But eventually, in the next week, all of the Russia memoirs will be over there. All right. So if there's anybody listening to me, much love. Thank you so much for coming out. And I'm going to keep the chat open so we can say our goodbyes and without rushing. Okay? If anybody has any questions or if you have information you would like to send me, please email me at thehardtruthsubtalk@gmail.com. Okay? You can email me there, and that information is also on the community page. So check the community page sometimes. You know, we can't depend on these notifications. We can't depend on them. We can't depend on them. And tomorrow is game night for anybody that doesn't have anything else to do but come see what Hard Truth is doing. Well, we're having a game night tomorrow night, and hopefully I'll see you there if you want to play. We have two games. Two games will run, and it's probably about an hour of your time. 50 minutes to it. Last time it took 50 minutes. So I'll say that. Okay, my donation information is just reposted on the community page, so you don't have to dig around for it. You can use Cash App or PayPal link. And I thank you for everyone who has already donated up until this second. Thank you very much. You much appreciated. Thank you for everyone who has watched the video, attended a live, liked the video, posted a comment. That's right, Audrey. Shout out to Audrey Cates for game night. That's right. We couldn't have done it without Audrey. We couldn't have done it. But we got it done, didn't we, Audrey? Yep. Game night. Let me find some little monster icons and stuff. That's right. Sudi. Sudi, where you been? How long you been in here, Sudi? Shout out to Sudi, Vaychat. Oh, that's us missing. And where's beautiful disaster Robin Latham? We're missing both of our Annies, Annie Potts, Annie Ruler, beautiful disaster. Hey, where's everybody at? Shout out to Susie Vaychat. That's right. Okay, for game night, make sure you have some Diet Coke. You have to have Diet Coke and potato chips or popcorn. All right, for game night. So when you show up, you have to already have that set up now. You have to already have that set up. Okay, I got some very interesting points for the week. So look for them in my next trilogy. I'll be releasing some things tomorrow before game night. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all have it until 10:30. Okay, remember to like, share, subscribe, whatever. Most of everybody in here is already subscribed. Okay, thank you everybody that donated and those that plan to donate. Okay, things are a little thin right now. All right, so God bless everybody. Much love, and I'm gonna shut the stream down at 10:30. Okay, Sudi, I see you. I see you, Sudi. I understand. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Oh, yes. Congrats. Shout out to Sudi's grandson. Shout out to Sudi's grandson.